Welcome, Japsters. It's your boy Syntell with the Intel, and today we are doing a reaction to Screen Rant's The Suicide Squad pitch meeting. Shout out to Ryan George. We actually have him on an interview on this channel. Totally worth your time. You gotta check it out. If you want to do me a solid, please hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. It lets YouTube know that we are serious. So without further ado, let's go.
So, you have a movie for me?
Yes, sir, I do. So you remember Suicide Squad from 2016?
Oh yeah, that movie that I hired people to kind of chop up and then everybody blamed the director for how much they hated it?
That's the one. So I was thinking we make another one, but we add "the" to the title.
Right.
Oh, that has a nice ring to it, actually.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Suicide Squad, the.
No? Oh, you want to put it at the beginning? Yeah, that's good too. Great. So is this like a sequel or a reboot or a soft reboot?
Yeah.
Please answer that question, right? Where is this happening in the timeline?
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we're gonna take some of the characters from the first movie, played by the same actors.
Oh, very fun, and some new ones too. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of new characters.
There's gonna be one named Blackguard, and I thought we could get Pete Davidson to play him.
People love Pete Davidson.
Right?
That's gonna be a fun
I do like
character.
him.
And his face is gonna explode almost immediately.
Oh my god. I also thought we could get Nathan Fillion in here.
Oh, now he's great. What's he gonna do?
Die almost immediately? Okay, wow.
Waste
Michael
of
Rooker, he'd
talent.
be great to play one of these guys.
To do what?
Die almost immediately.
Okay, what is happening?
Well, see, sir, there's gonna be a whole Suicide Squad team at the beginning of the movie that just kind of gets wiped out as a distraction. Okay, so like lesser known characters, and then you'll have more known characters in the movie too, like Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, he's in the movie. So what's he gonna do?
Die almost immediately. Oh my god, okay, does anyone not die immediately? Is the movie 5 minutes long? Well, we want to start the movie by sending the message that anyone can die at any time, right?
Right. Anybody
That's
can
just
get
like
it.
in real life. Yeah, so anyway, out of that first team, there's Rick Flag and Harley Quinn that make it out alive.
And what about on the main team? Who do we have on there?
Well, there's this one guy, right, and he's like an amazing shooter, and he's like a reluctant leader, and his main motivation is his daughter. Yeah, Deadshot. I know Deadshot. He was in the last movie.
Right.
This is a guy called Bloodsport.
Oh, that. Okay.
And there's this other predatory animal character that eats humans.
Killer Croc. Yeah, I know.
No, this is King Shark.
I should stop trying to predict things, I guess.
You're not particularly good at it, sir. And we also have this other character who shoots polka dots and another one who controls rats.
Working for pest control is tight.
No, her name is Ratcatcher too, and she can like control rats with her mind. And then there's Peacemaker, who's like Bloodsport, except he murders in the name of peace.
Who were you thinking for that role?
I was thinking maybe John Cena.
Oh, you know what?
I can't see him in that role.
Look, I'm just happy John Cena's getting work. That's what's really important here. You know, I mean, not everybody can be The Rock.
Because of his catchphrase. I understand the joke, sir. I just hate it.
That's fair.
So anyway, pretty much all these characters have sad backstories.
Oh, okay, so I imagine they're each gonna have a tattoo on their forehead explaining that?
No. What? Then how will people know? Well, once in a while, one of them will stop and explain their past to the other characters, which I think you'll agree is a little more subtle.
I guess.
And so, yeah, Amanda Waller implants bombs into all these people's
I like
necks,
Amanda
which is
Waller.
the
She
whole
did her
premise
thing.
of the thing.
Sure.
And so she sends them all to this island laboratory to destroy this experiment called...
Okay, so I'm not the only one that saw John Cena's. I mean, you. All right, I'm not the only one. Yeah.
Project Starfish.
So what kind of stuff does the squad get up to on this island?
Oh, well, first of all, they need to go save Rick Flag because it seems like he's been captured.
Okay.
So Peacemaker and Bloodsport, they have this kind of competition where they go through this camp and just kill people in horrific ways, just extremely bloody and graphic.
Oh, so we're like talking like an R rating here.
Yeah, because
Oh,
this way
yeah.
we get to see some brains and
Definitely
spinal
are.
cords and say stuff like 69 and splooge. 69, that's the funny number.
Yeah, it is.
And the other stuff is gross.
Yeah, it is. Very fun.
So they eventually reach this tent that Rick Flag is in, and it turns out the camp was full of good guys. He wasn't even captured.
Oh, whoops.
Whoopsie.
And so Rick Flag didn't hear any of the commotion?
No, he didn't hear the people screaming or exploding or the guard tower collapsing right next to him.
How did he not hear any of that?
Well, he was in a tent.
Oh.
Tents are known for being soundproof. Carry on. And so we're also going to meet up with Harley Quinn.
And what's she up to?
Well, see, since she's the most popular character, I figured she should get her own solo movie.
Well,
she already got her own movie. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
she's gonna get another one inside of this one. That makes sense. So she has this whole big side quest and even a love interest, and she ends up being captured by these military people, and she's being tortured for info. Oh, that's painful. It sure is, sir. But then she pretends to be
a little
unconscious, and
painful to
so she
watch.
strangles this guy with her legs when his back is turned. Well, thank God he took a break with his back turned while still within her reach, or that plan wouldn't have worked at all. It worked out pretty great. So then she takes out a whole bunch of military guys with like crazy martial arts and
I
stuff.
love that
Harley Quinn is
scene.
better at hand-to-hand combat than a full squad of trained military people? Yes. No further questions. So eventually they get their hands on this bad guy called the Thinker, who's been running the starfish experiment for like 30 years. Okay. And so obviously that's gonna lead into like the third act where they have a big situation to deal with. Oh, I see where you're going with this. So what color's the sky beam gonna be? Actually, I was kind of thinking maybe we don't do a sky beam. Well, we usually do a sky beam. Yeah, but I was thinking we could do more of like a giant hive mind starfish from outer space getting eaten by millions of rats, and one of the main characters pierces its eye with a javelin, and all
Wow.
the rats go in there.
Sure.
We usually do a sky beam, though. Yeah, I know. Okay. So anyway, it turns out that Amanda Waller told Peacemaker to get this hard drive that proves that the government's been funding the whole starfish thing. Oh. But Rick Flag doesn't think that's very nice, so they get in a fight, and Peacemaker kills Rick Flag. Very rude. And then Ratcatcher 2 gets the hard drive, so Peacemaker wants to kill her. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for her to get out of that situation. Actually,
Right?
it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yes, because of an explosion, Bloodsport's gonna fall through multiple stories in a building and land in the exact spot he needs to be in to save the day without injury. Oh, that is convenient. It sure is,
Oh
sir.
my
Then we're gonna have a
gosh.
scene where King
All right, so John Cena is supposed to have like a whole spinoff after this, and it's kind of hard to like root for John Cena because he was such a bad guy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me though.
Shark falls from a building and gets shot point blank with a bunch of machine guns, but his skin's so tough it doesn't hurt him at all. Very cool. How'd they inject the bomb into his neck? Unclear. And so this explosion is also going to set this giant hive mind starfish free. Uh-oh. And so this thing shoots out little starfish that attach to
Out of
people's
its
faces.
starfish
And that's how it
armpit.
does its hive mind thing. Exactly. So I guess the good guys need to keep their faces covered for the whole fight, huh? No, they just do it like once each and that does the trick. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, 'cause see, we're going to want to see their faces, so these little starfish just kind of stop going for them after a bit. Wow, okay, so this hive mind is kind of a big moral dilemma to tackle, huh? Like, do you kill these people that are innocent, but they're being mind controlled by an alien? Oh no, we're gonna have a little line explaining that they're corpses under the starfish, so they're already dead. Oh, okay, thank God. So we don't have a sky beam, but we do have a faceless, soulless army. Well, we gotta do some of the classics. Yeah, we do. So then Ratcatcher 2 summons millions of rats to attack this starfish. Seems like maybe she could have solved a lot of the movie's problems all on her own. Yeah, well, this is the climax of the movie, so this is really when they use the full extent of their powers. That's fair. And so yeah, then Harley Quinn pierces the eye of the giant starfish with a javelin, and that takes care of that. And so they hadn't fired bullets at the giant starfish eye? They did, but only the javelin does any damage. Well, okay then. And
Oh
so
my
then as
God,
Starro
yes.
is dying, he's like, I was happy floating in space, looking at the stars.
Now you're
excuse
guilty.
me, did you just make me feel bad for a giant alien starfish with a single line? I did. Wow, 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 wow. And so yeah, that's about it. What do you think? Well, it sounds like a lot of fun, you know? I think it's gonna perform great at the box office. Me too, sir. So long as there's not some kind of seemingly unending worldwide event that causes hesitancy in people going to the theaters and also completely changes the way we release movies to streaming. Why would you say that?
Yo, excellent. I gotta give it up to them. Yo, they are always on the money. Of course, check out Ryan George and Screen Rant. Thank you so much for allowing us to talk about some of your content because you hit on some real things. Like the whole guilt factor, right? Like this, they're supposed to be the big bad boss, the starfish that everybody's supposed to hate, and then you make me love them in the end. I was just floating in space, minding my business, looking at the stars. Right, and then you kill him in the most jacked up way. He sat there and let his optic nerve get gnawed on by rats. That's messed up. And then you guys want to make me feel good and sympathize for John Cena after he did some of the most despicable things throughout the movie. Oh, priorities. The rat catcher thing was really on the money. If she could call up that many rats, then the opening beat sequence would have probably only been, like 30 seconds? But you can't do that because that's bad cinema. I do get that. Do you really think that the box office would have done a lot better had there not been a pandemic? I wonder. There's something to be said about movies being made after Will Smith initially stars in them. Independence Day Part 2 didn't really do so well. Yeah. Suicide Squad Part 2 didn't really do so well. Yeah. Men in Black Part 2, well, Part 3 without Will Smith really didn't do so well. And then, like, okay, so you're gonna set me up with all this amazing casting, of course, with like Nathan Fillion, who's absolutely one of my all-time favorite sci-fi actors. Big shout outs to the Brown Coats. If you love Firefly, then you already know what's up. It's bad enough I barely got a chance to see his face and recognize who he was until well after the fact, but then you kill him off within like the first like 3 or 4 minutes of the movie. Come on, what are you doing? Harley Quinn already has her movie, so why are we still spending time giving Harley Quinn her just due? Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy her scene, especially the one when she was lugging around the spear and knocking magical flowers out of the mouths of people and having cool little forest animals cower, actually. That's the funny thing. Like, if you pay attention to some of the scenes, you'll see some of the forest animals like hiding behind some of the columns because they're trying to get away from the absolute carnage. One of my all-time favorite characters within the movie is King Shark. Talk about a great character arc. He went from somebody that's just dumb beyond belief to completely redeemable. And this is a guy that's sitting there munching on people's foreheads through bits and pieces of the film. He's probably the most disgusting of the Suicide Squad regarding how grotesque his kills are. But then you want to love him like a teddy bear once he gets done. You're like, oh my gosh, look at the way you chew on that head. If there is one consistent thing, be it through Suicide Squad 1 or Suicide Squad 2, it's Amanda Waller. You hate her from part 1 all the way through to the end. She has no redeeming qualities. To part 2, she has no redeeming qualities, and I love it. She was a very good bad guy. Peacemaker and Bloodsport, they have the exact same superpower. I mean, I know it's kind of like tongue-in-cheek, kind of funny to acknowledge it within the movie, but it is kind of really redundant. But that bullet shot with the bullet inside of the bullet, it does kind of pay off, so I'll allow it. And to add to the twistiness of just the Suicide Squad in general, probably the most graphic of all of their, I don't know, raids or battles is when they end up destroying the guerrilla army that they're supposed to be supporting. That was pretty funny. And then not only did they end up murdering everybody, they made a game out of it. It's kind of really funny that he didn't hear him through the tent. Please let me know in the comments. How did you feel about the Suicide Squad? Are you going to watch the Suicide Squad Part 3? If they're gonna make one, because I don't know, man. It might be a kind of a touchy situation, seeing as how it didn't make much money. But you can always check out James Gunn's other project, which is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Thank you so much for checking out Jaby's channel. This is your boy Syntell. Shout out to Screen Rants. We love your material. Smash that subscription button, plus the bell icon, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.